Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Courtney. I am a Gen X stay-at-home mom and wife and aspiring author. I like to talk about planners and planning and books and throw up occasional vlogs. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, I would love for you to subscribe. Today I am going to do like a Q1 flip through and chat of my planners. So I started Q1 with basically the same system. I haven't really made too many changes. So I started in personal rings. I had a B6 and I had my standard for being in my purse. Sorry, why can I not think of words today? So this was kind of my initial setup. I have a separate journal to like log my reading. I don't really include that in my planning system because it's not something that I'm in that frequently. I will update it once a week depending on how much I'm reading. And then I have A5 rings for like content planning and stuff for writing. Before the end of Q1, I ended up swapping out my standard for a Hobonichi Weeks. So I think I started this in like March, maybe the beginning of March, end of February, beginning of March, not quite sure. It is rolling along fine. This is what I throw in my bag to take with me. Oops, that was my library card code. You can see I am not, let me mark these days off. It is currently Sunday. I do like pre-planning in here. All appointments and events go on the monthly calendar immediately. My weeks have turned into lists or whatever I need them to be. I will scratch things out, or no, I started my weeks in February because I ordered a cover the first week of February, or I ordered this cover. So yeah, they're just whatever I need them to be. I will say that last week or the week before last, I tried to use them as like a food log, kind of exercise symptom log, and I did not really like how that worked. And so, yeah, this is kind of where we are right now. In the back, I just have lists and notes and kind of whatever. This is still in my bag. For all intents and purposes, it's still working. And I enjoy it a lot. The B6, I've been doing all of my, let me make sure that I have been in frame this whole time. I hope I have. I use my B6 Stology for combination like memory planning, journaling is what it's kind of turned into. I think like in the beginning, I was actually using it as more of like a place to record all of the things that I was doing. So it did have like, I was using like a weekly and using my daily for various tasks, but it just became too much. And I have sort of settled into it being much more of a journal and a memory keeper than any sort of planner. And I really like how it's turning out. I will do my like weekly review, which is basically kind of like a vibe check of the week. I put like tarot spreads in here. I add pictures and invitations and stickers and like anything else. Did not do a monthly or did not finish my monthly review. I usually will record either like a good thing or a gratitude thing on the monthly calendar. And yeah, I am enjoying how this is shaping up. Lots of, I think I experimented with 2 pages per day and it was too much. So now I'm back to a page per day, and that's really been working. And that's kind of the end up until March, the end of March. And then the other thing that I use regularly is my rings. This is like my true planning system. I plan out my week, and I am, let me just take a minute to say that I'm obsessed with this cover. It is a Moterm Veg Tan in apricot. Bought it off the Buy Sell Trade group on Facebook. I set it up last week and I am obsessed. So I do all of my planning for the week in here, use my monthlies always, and then I have daily pages in here as well. So that's kind of, I had been keeping I thought I had been keeping, or I had decided to keep monthlies in here for the first 3 months, and dailies, but I think I went ahead and took them out. So I have my dailies in here. I have my like trackers, my health log. There's a section for goals. There's my home section for my son. Card, like not my most frequently used cards, but kind of like the supplemental cards are in here. And I love it. I am used to it. For the last couple of years, my system has been some type of ring bound planner and a bound book. So I think at one time I was in like personal rings and a standard stology, or pocket rings and an A5 stology, that sort of thing. So I did have some thoughts about some things. So obviously I have been using Astrology. I got the full year, which is 365 pages, and I have April in here. I probably have enough pages to do May, but it is getting very chunky. I can't even really close my cover, which this is like the pebbled pink from Moterm. It's like one of the OG ones, so it's not that, the strap is not that long. You can't really chunk up your book as much as you can if you're in a new one. So obviously I'm thinking about what I want to do my memory keeping in next. Do I just want to go ahead and order another B6? I will say I have been enjoying this size for memory keeping. I think most of last year I did it in an A5, and then I went down to a standard, but I am enjoying the B6 size. So while I was thinking about that, I was just kind of having a look around the internet, as one does, and I decided to, well, I will tell you what led me to this decision. Let me back up. So I had showed you that I didn't really love doing like a health tracker inside of my Hobonichi weeks. And I wasn't really sure if I wanted to move it out of my rings. I considered it putting it in a bound book just so that I would have everything in one place and I could just let my doctor look through everything if need be. I have some health issues and some upcoming appointments and like some medication changes that I am needing to keep track of. And I also am at this point in like my fitness journey where I have gotten into the habit of working out, and now the other piece obviously is diet. And so I want to have a place where I am tracking what I'm eating and like calories in, calories out, how much protein I'm getting, like all of that kind of stuff. So, and because I have this gorgeous veg tan standard and I had set this up for the year with these two books, which were just like from the Travelers Company. So I had the Undated Horizontal and the Undated Monthly that I just had added stickers to. And I was pretty happy with that when I was using it, but then I felt like it was too much. So because I had this, I was like, oh, you know what I could do is I could just go ahead and do like my meals and all of that sort of tracking in this Undated Weekly. I could use my monthly for like my exercise log or whatever. And then I also have this dot grid one that I could use for any kind of notes or logging symptoms or whatever. So I was pretty set on that idea, but I started looking around the internet, which no good ever comes of that. Landed on Sterling Ink. They were having a sale. So I ordered the standard, which I think is like the N1 compact. So now I have this one. So my thought was, oh, I can get the standard one, do all my health stuff in this one. And then I also ordered the B6 compact to continue doing my memory keeping. The one thing I will say that I kind of missed from last year is, if I can find it, like last year I did memory keeping in a standard weekly, and I really enjoyed being able to write down little notes about the week, or like you know, if my son says something funny on a specific day, like being able to write it down on that day. Or like tracking shows that I'm watching in sort of like real time, in addition to using it for journaling. Like this week I read 4 books and it was daylight savings time, and I started season 5 of Supernatural on March 6th. Or apparently this week my son asked me if I would kiss Barack Obama on the way to school, and I remember that specifically being like, I'm not sure that Barack wants to be included in this narrative, but okay. So yeah, so I got this one in the horizontal for that exact purpose. But now that it's here, I'm waffling because I had decided that I was not going to archive my weekly pages, that I would archive the daily pages. But with this, I can also have like an exact record of how I'm using my days. So then I'm like, okay, do I want to do that? Or would it be easier for me to break like my health stuff down vertically versus horizontally? Because I could do like my workouts across the top. Then I can use, you know, this much space for breakfast, this much space for lunch, dinner, how much water I'm drinking on a day. Then I could do like my sleep or my anxiety trackers or like whatever over here. And then it also has these additional trackers in here. So I'm not, and then I could do my memory keeping in this one. Use this as a total record of my year and then buy another Stology just for habit tracking. I mean, not habit tracking, memory keeping and journaling. So basically, I'm at a loss as to how I want to use these two books. It seems kind of silly to repeat all of the information that I have in my rings and log it in here just for the sake of keeping it. But I think probably since like 2019, maybe even 2018, I've always had like a bound book that has the record of the year for me, like a record of my year. And I guess part of me still wants that. I'm not sure. I would love for you to tell me what you think I should do, because I don't really know. And then also, I am actually really glad that I bought these because I had considered them last year for like this year's setup, but I was worried that with my old lady eyes that the lines and the text and everything were going to be too light for me to really be able to see. And I can actually see these lines better than I can see like the grid in my Stology, which is really strange. So yeah, that is kind of where I stand now. Still completely happy in this. Still completely to have my Hobonichi living in my bag. I am enjoying only really I'm not doing any digital tracking of my books. I'm doing everything analog for my books and my reading. I just think like Goodreads and Storygraph and like all of that gets to be so overwhelming sometimes. Oh, I need to color in another book because I did finish The Wedding Party. My goal this week was to read 2 books. I've only read one, The Wedding Party, which is a thriller. Really enjoyed it. Found a new to me author. It's on Kindle Unlimited if you have that. I do need to like catch up with some of my reviews. In the beginning of the year, I had decided like I wasn't going to write out a review on every book that I read. But sometime around here, I actually decided to go ahead and write as many reviews as possible. So I'm still enjoying using this. I'm also in my A5 rings for business. I actually just redid this. And I'm pretty happy with the setup so far. I did go ahead and basically, because my printer is being super weird and I still haven't decided on the new one that I want, I like didn't want to have to deal with printing and cutting and fighting with my printer and all of that. But the whole setup had just become like out of control, and I felt like just it had become a place where I just was like shoving papers into it, and a bunch of sticky notes were everywhere, and I really didn't enjoy coming into it. So I ended up overhauling the whole thing last week. I just bought A5 inserts from Amazon. They are vertical. They're not exactly what I wanted, but I have figured out a way to use them, which is essentially to just ignore all the timeline and write on them the way that I want to. So I liked that it came with the tabs for every month. These have they have the monthly and then the weeks follow. So this is a whole year of inserts and like planning, and I'm really very happy about that. I also got these pink dividers from Amazon. I think they were like $6 or $7. I think I had the labels from something else. So yeah, I finally have it set up in a way that's like really helpful for me. Let me know if you want me to do like a complete flip through of like my A5 kind of social media business setup. Happy to do that, or a plan with me for how exactly I'm using it and how I'm trying to like plan out content and writing stuff and all of that. But yeah, basically my Q1 is not going to change too much, except for adding like a health slash food journal thing, which I feel like this video was a bunch of rambling. So if you've hung in there, thank you so much. If you would like to see more from me, then don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, don't forget to leave me a comment letting me know how you would use the 2 common planners that I bought, or if you would change the way that I'm using either of them. I'm up for suggestions. But thanks for hanging out with me for this 20 minutes, 15 minutes of unhinged rambling. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.